Oh no!
I need to show you a video of me doing stand-up badly because you showed one last time. And 3,
I tried to, but I was just so talented.
I know, yeah, you tried to.
Just like intangible red flag territory. Like he's not saying anything specific,
interesting.
But like just as he's talking, you're like, do not be in a room alone with this man.
Yeah, 100%.
So we can all love each other. No.
All right, great. Okay, great. This is great. What about him is an intangible red flag? Is it a way he appears, way he talks, hand gestures?
Do you know what the word intangible means?
All right, I'm gonna go have a piss. Ashley, you're in charge.
I'm in charge. Bitches.
I went down on a juicy boozy, and
I got a fart, and this chair's gonna make it reverberate. Hey, wait! Hey!
Oh no! Everybody else,
Hey!
What's going on? I'm just waiting for music. I thought you were getting music. Oh, I thought you were just getting
how
music.
my penis gets born.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Here's a shed.
The ice cream cones came with a little metal packet that is just full of sugar. It's just full of sugar to be poured into the cones.
I got what has the Japanese not gotten a hold of, perfected, and then when everyone was like, "You did it," they went, "And now we'll begin." And you're like, "No! You fixed it. It was fixed. Do not break it." They're like, "No! We got to break this.
I still have some more questions.
Go ahead.
John Hastings is on America's Got Talent for 5 minutes, and now he's got houses in LA and London.
That's right.
Yeah.
You kept a house in London?
Yeah, I've kept a house in London.
Update: not sugar.
There's no fluid tasting enough to warrant sucking it out of him. Yeah. No, but did he do it when he was then in the band when they were the 4 Bee Gees that brief time before then his heart exploded?
Wow.
I'm not saying anything that didn't happen. That is what happened to him.
I'm a predator.
And it was going awesome. And we even started having drinks at a bar, and we each had girlfriends with us, whatever. We're having a great time until I got comfortable enough to go, hey, we share a birthday,
As someone who's been eternally single.
Go ahead. Is it your fault? Yes. No, sorry.
Stop tweeting after your dates, Ashley. Stop tweeting after your dates.
Oh, bad news, Paul. You're getting a Batman bet.
This is not bad news. I am so pleased.
Support them.
But you know what's more important than helping people's mental health?
Fuck you, John.
I'm just saying. Tom, you're a comedy fan.
Here's what happened. So I came up after she finished a couple times.
How did you
I'm not one's not enough.
What a
you go for 2. That's how you start it out.
Smooth or crunchy.
And then Jesus, boom. And so so when I emerged, I went to kiss her, and she just grabbed my face and she sucked it all out of my beard.
So hurtful.
That's a literary reference. Oh no, I gotta.
Hey, he can't tie me out now. I'm the only one here. Books, pages. Right. Verb, noun, adjective. Nice. Someone get me that.
I'm very prone to bullying.
No, you're talking about Andy Gibb.
I am talking about Andy Gibb. Pardon me.
Get your Gibbs straight if you want to come at me, bro.
Sorry.
Those nice bearded men and their Aryan friends seem like they're doing very different shows.
Marylane's got pink eye. She touched her in hole.
I tried to. It crawled away too quickly.
It's difficult with tea. Sometimes you try and tune it and you get Assam.
I'm officially declaring it. Jordan is the Governor General of the stream.
God damn it, guys. I took a Ritalin today. I can only focus on one thing at a time.
What world is happening right now? Two screens. screens. I want to have two screens.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Paul and I were walking through the park, and we walked past the tennis courts. A ball had gone over the fence. Paul went down, grabbed it, threw it over, and the young woman who was playing said, "Thank you, sir." Ouch.
Right, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna fucking take over this fucking festival, and you're not gonna fucking stop me. Why? All these fucking robots are all around the fucking city, right?
Yeah, don't knock a spit roast till you try it.
Just hang on. Can you just keep going? Make an appeal right now for us to stop this whole thing. Go ahead, Tom.
I think we should see Paul's face for this. There's going to be tears.
No, your junk in the trunk is not as prominent. Make the camera go lower now. Jesus. Now bounce your bottom, sir.
What are we doing?
Having a nice time. So let's watch
That's
it one
a
more
Betty
time.
Crease's Jamaican for poop shoot.
So I'm on the toilet. The toilet paper's here. I grab some of the toilet paper. I stand up. I turn around.
Whoa!
No!
A whole lot of the world can get it right round itself if I have a Baba bed.
There you go, buddy. There you go.
What was Tom talking
Whoa!
about?
Whoa!
Go, Matt.
What happened?
Go, Matt.
The bed is what?
He did it.
Richard Ball, we're over. I want people to be saying, "Michael, is that a beard?" And I can say, "No, shit residue from the kink I enjoy participating." I was moving into position right to blast away on her their chest, and I slipped on the sheets and accidentally punched her in the face, and then.
Oh no, the Canadians are coming.
Chris, John, and Irish Ashley combine to make the ultimate team, better than any wet dream. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream. John's the CEO and Boomer. Ashley's the real leader. Chris brings the vibes and juices as our enjoyment increases. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream.
Welcome in, everybody. It's just me right now. Chris is here as well, but he has gone to get a drink, I think, and he seems to have taken a little bit too long to come back. I'm sure he'll be here in a moment, but you know what? It's great. You guys are all here. There's so many of you here. Welcome in. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's had a lovely weekend. The Ashley stream we all wanted. Exactly. Oh, fuck off, Chris. You know what? They all decided that they just wanted me now. So
Oh, cool. All right, I'll see you guys later.
You're not needed. I'm totally kidding. Come back.
I was so close.
How are
That
you?
kettle's so slow. Yeah, I'm cool. I just did XS Malarkey, which was awesome.
Oh, cool. What is that? For those
It's one of the most fun stand-up shows in the UK. It's in Manchester. They're always like, the crowd just wants to hear your best stuff.
Okay.
You don't have to do your club stuff. They want you to go out and take a risk and make them think and go for it. And I love them so much. They're so fun. And yeah, so I guess their headliner dropped out. So they just sent me like an email, just sort of like, are you free? And I was like, it's the afternoon here, baby. I'm so free.
That's great. And it went well.
Yeah, it was very fun. And I got to watch Elf Lions open, and then Roscoe was in the middle. So I got to watch them do their jokes, which was great. And yeah, it was very nice. And I heard, oh no, Steve, it was over the internet. It was very much over the internet. I am still in Canada. They have a Twitch channel, and so they broadcast the show over that, which is really fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Should we give them a little shout out? What's their Twitch handle?
Yeah, XS Malarkey.
Is that the letters XS?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're great. They've been going for 24 years. It's one of the best, like for real, one of the best independent comedy shows in the UK. It's very, very fun.
Cool.
Yeah, I love them. And so it was very nice to do that show. I got a message from my very soon to be landlord asking if I can pick up the keys today, so I might get to move in a day early, which is cool.
Ooh, that's great.
Yeah, so I might be in
That's
tomorrow,
very cool.
which would be fucking awesome.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, so I think she has to leave tomorrow, but I think she has to leave very early because she lives on another island, an even smaller island, a teeny itty bitty island. And so she's like, have to leave earlier than I thought. Can you come? And I was like, fuck yeah. So as soon as we get off the air today, I'm heading into Victoria to go get my keys, and then I'm gonna move.
And then you can start moving.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. Oh, that's so exciting.
I can't wait. And it's gonna be a very easy move because the only things I have with me are I could carry onto a plane. So
right.
It's perfect. And Sadaf has organized to send my other bags to my new place, so they'll get there at the end of the week.
Cool.
Which is perfect. So.
Oh, you're so happy.
I can't wait.
Look at your happy little face.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
That little dance just made me want to squeeze your cheeks. That was so cute.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. You had your dad visiting this weekend. How was it?
I did. It was lovely. It was really, really nice. It was only for 2 days, but it was lovely. Really, we had nice food. We kept it nice and chilled, didn't try and do too much, and we went and did the Clydeside Distillery tour.
Oh yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, which was really, really nice. It's a very new distillery. They actually only opened 6 months before the pandemic, and they're only bringing out. They actually have their first batch of whiskey ready to go, but they can't sell it yet because there's shortages on glass and cardboard. So they actually can't get the packaging to start selling it. And I was just like, oh my God, that's terrible.
Brexit
I feel like Brexit has something to do with that. Yeah. But it was a lovely tour, and it was a chocolate and whiskey tasting at the end, which was very cool. And they keep the group sizes quite small, so it was just us and 3 Scottish lads and 3 German lads. It was basically me with a load of 50 and 60-year-old men.
Nice. Yeah. Where you belong.
Where I belong, exactly.
Where you belong.
And it was one of those funny things where the host, the tour guide, kept saying, ladies and gentlemen, and then he'd correct himself. He's just like, or should I say, lady and gentlemen? And I'm just like, okay.
Tet saying what we're all thinking, just like this stream then. Just like this stream. Yeah.
Can you make tea with whiskey? No, but one thing I did learn is Johnny Walker, who's obviously a very big whiskey brand, he was teetotal. He never drank. And he made whiskey because he was already making tea, and he went, well, I can make tea, I may as well make whiskey. And it was literally, he was just like, this is a business opportunity. Wow. But he was teetotal. He never actually drank, which is potentially why his whiskey tastes like shite. But anyway.
It doesn't though. It's fine.
I don't like Johnny Walker at all.
I think it's fine. I mean, the red is bad. The black is fine.
Okay.
And everything above that is like good.
There is a chance I've only had the red.
Yeah.
So I will say that I'm open to trying it, but
it's like
I really was unimpressed.
the way that I think about it is like the red is like Jose Cuervo tequila.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not a good representation of anything.
Okay.
It's just cheap and it's there. So drink it.
Sure.
Okay. The black.
Well, then
is
I shall try some others.
The black is like the Jack Daniels of Scotch, where it's just it just works. It just does what it does. It's not going to be amazing, but you know what you're getting. And then everything above that is like
one, and they went with a black label because he had used it was from the tea. Basically, they went with black label because of tea.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? I love that one of the biggest brands in the world was like fuck it. That gives me hope.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. It was really, really lovely little tour, and it's in a lovely area. They told the story about how it's down on the Clyde River, but apparently in the 1700s, kids could like walk across that river completely safely, which you would not believe if you were to see it now because it's huge, like it's really deep. But they purposely widened and deepened it so that they could get ships up
Okay.
into the river so they could ship whiskey.
That's a man with a plan.
Yeah.
That's like there's a bridge in Canada or in Vancouver that goes to North Vancouver that was paid for by the Guinness family.
Oh.
Like of Guinness because they owned all of the land north of Vancouver, and they were like, I don't want to keep taking a fucking boat to my house, so we're just going to build a bridge and give it to the city. Let's just do that. And so now there's
Baldy,
a fucking huge
yeah, Baldy, you could be right. They did purposely deepen it for shipbuilding and trade. And I think there's a crane that's there now which used to lift trains onto ships. And so they used to move train cars in and out of there as well. So I think it was multi-purpose kind of what's it called? Widening of
Canals?
the river canal
Okay, yeah.
thing. It served a few different functions, but it was
that was part of it.
Trade and movement basically was the purpose. But yeah, I just thought it was fascinating. Really, really good. And we went to a beautiful restaurant after the distillery called Left Bank in West End of Glasgow, and it was so cool. I had walked past it once and I just thought it looked nice from the outside, and then when we went in and got shown to our table, it's like it was this labyrinthine adventure to get to our table. Like they had so many different levels, so many different winding stairs. It was so cool. Really,
Nice.
really, really cool. And then really good food.
That's it really matters. Like you can't have that much presentation and then be like, pub food. Here's your soggy chips. Get out of here.
Yeah. And then the staff were also really, really nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you been to?
It makes me so want to go back to places when the staff are nice.
Yeah, it makes an absolutely huge difference. That's one of the things that Hawksmoor, it's, I mean, like any business, there's pluses and minuses, but their whole hiring policy is just like hire cool people that will work hard. And that's it. We can train them in everything else.
Yeah.
Anything else is trainable. If you're a joy to be around and you're going to work your ass off, you're here. We don't give a shit. Come on down.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. It was really, really lovely and not too expensive for how fancy it felt. You know, and then we were sat next to a table of I think 8 people. Yeah, 8 people. Which, sometimes can be a little bit like, oh, are they going to be really annoying or something?
Yeah.
And on my way out, the wait staff actually said, sorry if you were up there next to a really loud party. And I was like, they were actually fine. They were genuinely not very loud. But it was nice that they appreciated that as well. That the venue actually went, like they acknowledged the fact that we were next to a loud table.
Yeah, because they will have known, but the fact that they said something is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was just nice.
Nice.
So yeah, Stephen, Stephen's mentioned in the chat he's looking at the menu. Highly recommend. I think it would be a perfect date spot. It has that really nice kind of fancy date feel to it, and you'll have the lamb. That's what my dad got. It was really good. I tried some.
Nice. King Geo's been coming in with some doozies of comments. One was on the Johnny Walker thing. If you can find good price, green and gold are really salt blends. They are, and that's absolutely true. And that thing about Scotch and chocolate, Johnny Walker Gold in the freezer with some really high cacao chocolate, ace. And then he's saying, in terms of the Hawksmoor thing, that's my hiring policy as well. I can train tech and product, but you either have a customer service mindset or you don't. And that's absolutely right. You can't put that into somebody. You're either a people person.
You can take it out of somebody, though. If you don't treat your staff well, customer service can really, really wear you down and make you hate customer service. Because I've been in that position where I'm quite customer service suitable. I'm quite able to be friendly and stuff, but I've had jobs where I just end up being a bit of a dick because I can't hack it anymore.
Oh yeah,
You know?
I've got a friend who was running a big restaurant, and right before I left the UK, I was like, "So how's it going?" She's like, "I'm not doing it anymore. I went to HR.
Mhm.
I can't serve another fucking person because I don't care about them, and
Yeah.
I don't care what they want. I don't care what makes them happy. I hate
Yeah.
them." It's like, yep, everyone hits that.
There was when I was a supervisor for the Edinburgh Christmas Festival, there was one of the guys there, and he was just the loveliest guy, one of the loveliest, friendliest people I've ever worked with. And he was so aware of the fact that he was working for a Christmas festival, and he hadn't worked for them before. And so at the beginning, he was just like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited to make this such a special experience for kids and families and stuff like that." And he would put so much effort into making every single person feel so welcome and everything. But the thing about that festival is that people are horrible to you.
Okay.
Like, so, you do get a little bit of Christmas cheer around the place, but it is horrible sometimes. And I have dealt with some of the worst customers I've ever dealt with at that festival.
I bet.
And so, he literally turned around to me one day and he was like, "I really want to make this special for the people that, want it to be special, but I'm so tired." And I just went, "Dude, you're paid minimum fucking wage to be here. Please do not give more of yourself than you can." Like,
Yeah.
you don't tell people to fuck off, but
Yeah.
you are not expected to go above and beyond here.
But it's also like, because I felt that way when I was new to service industry. I wanted everyone to have the best night they've ever had, and I knew that I could provide that, and I loved it. And then I just hit a
Yeah.
point where I didn't care how their night went anymore. Now it was about how my night's going, and that was okay too, because as long as I'm trying to have fun, then that passes on. Then they're having fun.
Mhm.
But once I don't care how either of our nights go, that's a wrap. Then you got to walk away.
Yeah.
Then it's no, I'll burn this fucker down because I do not care about you. I read in the last service job that I had, because when I was at Hawksmoor, I only worked dispense, so I never talked to a customer, which was perfect.
Okay.
So the last service job that I had where it was customer facing, for the last 6 months, the barback would just bring me weed. And he would be like, "You should probably smoke some of this right now." And that meant I was being a fucking grumpy Gus. And so we would just pause the bar for 10 minutes. We'd just be like, "We'll be back in 10." And everyone would be like, "Okay, Chris, we'll see you later." It was a very sort of locals bar. And I'd go back into the alley with the barback, smoke a joint with him, come back. Very pleasant. Slower, but pleasant. And it worked out great.
That's so good. How was your weekend?
Very low key. I mean, well, no, okay. So Friday, so our weekends are Friday and Saturday, obviously. And mine was Friday. I got a bunch of admin stuff done, set up with my medical care. I organized my phone thing, which is so much cheaper to stay in the UK for than it is to get a Canadian one. £23 a month, 105 gigabytes, and unlimited calls and texts, plus free use in Canada and the States and the EU. It would have been $120 a month in Canada for that.
That's outrageous.
I think we might have the most expensive internet in the world. If we're definitely top 3.
What?
Yeah, and the prime minister keeps promising to make it better, and then just not doing anything about it and actively making it worse.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's so much cheaper to keep my British phone than it is to come over here. And people are just like, people go, "Oh, can I text you?" And I'm like, "No, but you can message me on any number of internet things that we all have. So just do that."
I mean, I do most of my internet connection, or most of my communications is through internet medium.
Absolutely. The only people that call or text me are 50 or over.
Yeah.
Everyone else, it's WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Discord now.
Yeah.
Whatever they fucking find is fine. Twitter. I'm sure there's one that young people are like, "You're on those?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am, because I'm 37. But that's fine. I shouldn't be talking to you anyway. You're 12. But yeah, so I don't need a phone. I don't need a phone number.
It's basically the
Yeah.
phone part of your phone has become the landline to the mobile phone.
Right.
You don't need that part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good because occasionally you find a spot where there's no internet, but there is phone coverage, and you're like,
Yeah.
this pickup truck sure has been following me for quite some time.
Yeah.
But, you know,
What a niche idea.
why else would you call? I'm in the woods and I'm in danger.
What?
There's no internet.
Okay.
Please help.
I now understand where that scenario came from. Oh, that's great. I mean, I have kept my Irish phone number, but I went on to a super cheap plan.
Thank you for following Petrichor Love. Welcome to the
Thank you for
Troggies.
following.
I want to say specifically, Petrichor Love was in the crowd because XS does like the Zoom show, and so
Oh,
there's some people that
yes?
are in the crowd, and then the rest are on Twitch. And I really one of my jokes, I can't remember which one, but I fucking broke her. Just couldn't stop. It was the best. It was such a good feeling.
And we've got another follow in from McWarwraith. I hope I'm saying that
sorry, that's
right.
me. Here we go. Thank you so much for following McMore.
Also, we actually,
Welcome to the
while I was
Troggies.
setting up the stream earlier, we got 2 follows from new people in this. Who's okay? They're gone. I can't scroll back far enough to see their names, but there were 2 new follows. Thank you for those. Welcome into the Troggies if you are listening.
Welcome.
It was about half an hour before the show started, and I was like, "Where did they come from?"
Oh, nice one.
It's always exciting.
Yeah, well, I know Petrichor Love from solo streams. I think she's a Mystifer.
I think Petrichor Love was in my solo streams as well.
That sounds right. I think people are still finding out that we have this channel.
I think so, yeah. In which case, tell your friends, tell your enemies, invite everybody over to the Untitled Twitch stream. And hi, podcast listeners, go tell your friends and your
Hello.
enemies as well.
Please like and subscribe and rate it if you're on Apple Music. It helps a lot.
It does help.
It's so frustrating how much it helps.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
Yulberry.
Yulberry, it was you. Thank you so much for making yourself known.
Let's give you a scrolling banner. Welcome to the Troggies.
Welcome in. And that's cool that you came over from the show as well. The
Love
Access
this.
Malarkey show.
Love this.
The underrated Twitch stream. Boomstickery, it was you that said that in a different chat, wasn't it?
Love it.
Petrichor Love has just subscribed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
This is wonderful. This is just good stuff. This is good, clean fun
This
right
is
here.
so wholesome. This feels like such a chill.
Oh, King Geo gifted it. King Geo.
Oh, King Geo, thank you so much.
My goodness. I mean, your kindness flow's never ending.
Yulberry's subscribed as well. Is that from Yulberry or is it gifted?
Stephen gifted that one.
Stephen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the
actually do have the
subscription,
chat
King
open
Geo.
already.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, do you know what we need to do yet? I mean, obviously we're still working through little teeny weeny tiny bits of admin that need to happen, but we should make little badges for our subscribers.
You're going to be very upset.
Oh no!
Guess what's starting?
Oh no!
We're so
I mean,
close.
Can you
so
pull it off
close.
by yourself though? I'm very
only
intrigued.
6. We're only 6% short. Kirsten, thank you so much for gifting a sub to McWarwraith. King Geo cheered 9
Petrichor
bits.
Love
We're at
also
99.
gifted one to Richard Anthony Morris. Thank you for that.
Hype train.
I mean, you're giving it a good whack. I'll give you that. Okay. It's really easy to deal with this when I'm by myself.
Oh, and I muted you.
Oh, you muted me. Oh, Christ.
Just in case you came back and tried to cut me off again.
That's
Thank you
quite
so much.
fun. Thank you for all of the gifts and the bits and
the subs and the
everything. That's
bits.
amazing.
We've still got. I mean, there's a lot left. There's a lot left. So don't hesitate to keep that hype train rolling.
Do you feel silly doing it by yourself?
Absolutely, but you got to hold it down. You got to do right by the stream.
Indeed.
Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the bits.
Thank you for everything. That's so nice. It sounds like a hobo song when Chris does it on his own. Yeah, it sounds like you're just humming it away to yourself with a hat on the ground in front of you with some coins in it.
That's how we used to get the hype train before the internet, Ashley.
Oh,
You sit down and accept donations.
Are you feeling hyped yet?
Toss a coin to the Twitcher. Come on, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's very perceptive, King Geo. I am, because apparently I got very loud while I was telling my jokes. And he was like, that was especially loud. And it's like, all right, I'll keep it down. That's fair.
Yeah,
I'm moving
that's
out.
fair.
I'm gonna yell my head off, because once I get to my new place, I'm gonna be so fucking loud.
Are you in flats? Will you have neighbors?
Yeah, but apparently the walls are super thick. The guy that's been living there, he's like, I haven't heard a peep out of anybody the whole time. So yeah, my neighbors are gonna they're gonna wake up to Hype Train song, baby. Oh, what just happened? Someone just gifted Bex, thank you so much for the gifts.
Thank you for the gifts.
Guess where we are? Guess where we are, Ashley? Level 2. I'm gonna need your help here. Hype.
You're doing it by yourself. I have made it very clear from day one that I am having nothing to do with this.
I'm gonna have to get a loop pedal, because I gotta that way I can overlap it and just go over my own hypes. Hype. Dream. That was good stuff.
That was really enjoyable to watch. That was too funny.
Agony and Column, my neighbors hate you, Chris.
You have such a bass tone to, when you it's funny when you hear, there's so many annoying TikToks where they show each of the different harmony I don't know what I'm saying, but each of the different harmony bits, and then they put them all together. It's like we're getting that breakdown of the Hype Train song. Now we just need one with John singing it by himself.
I remember I saw this kid. This is I'm drinking chamomile tea, chat. Just some chamomile tea. I've already had 3 coffees today. I do not need more. There's this video of this kid, and it blew my goddamn mind. I was dating a musician for a little while, and she was like, "You don't know anything about music," and I said, "That is correct. I enjoy it a great deal." And she's like, "You'll appreciate this though." And it's this video of this kid, and it's just him. It can't be more than like 18, maybe 17, and he sings "Pure Imagination" from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay.
And he does all 6 parts, and it's beautiful.
Wow.
Like it really blew me away. I've seen other people do it since, but I think because that was the first one that I saw, it really sort of took me back. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I like those when they're done well. Because it's like, that's not easy to just hit that pitch, get the timing exactly right when you're singing it.
Yeah.
Because there's no backing track, there's nothing. They're just sitting there singing it. Like it's a real goddamn accomplishment. I can't tell jokes to an empty room. This dude is crushing it.
Yeah. It's I think sometimes, and most, I find 90% of these reels and TikToks really annoying, but every now and then you do come across something that's really impressive.
Yeah. And those are
really impressive.
Those are so like exciting. Oh,
I
think it is that one here. I'll bring it up. And it's so like, because I've said this about the internet before, is like the internet is 10% all the worst people you've ever heard of in your life, and they're very loud and they get shared all the time, and 90% just wonderful people
Yeah.
just quietly doing incredible things, like doing how to get leather off of your iron when you accidentally ironed something. And what it is you turn it on and you just rub paracetamol on it.
What?
Onto the iron, and there's something about the paracetamol and the heat, and it takes it off. My housemate did it a year
That's
ago.
amazing.
And it's like, it's all people just being like, here, I'm helpful, and this is for free, and I'm getting nothing out of it. I just made it because I wanted to help. And I get that off like some of these very talented people. So here's this kid.
Oh.
In a world of pure imagination, take a look and you'll see into your imagination. We'll be
How do you do this?
It's so talented.
How the
world of my creation, what we'll see.
Who's Jacob Collier? David Hoare is age shaming me because I don't know who Jacob Collier is.
What if you paradise? Simply look around and view it.
But yeah, even like the sort of like
Yeah.
the doobie doos parts. Like,
Yeah.
how do you get that exactly on? That's, I mean, just fucking incredible.
It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of that there's so much time gone into that. Like, I think about how much time I spent trying to make a bloody clip for our social media channels today.
Oh no, it completed at level 2. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I thought we were gonna get into fucking Thomas the Tank Engine there for a second. I saw the choo choos. Thank you guys so much for the hype trains. You're the greatest. Thank you for letting me sing.
Yeah.
My
And I
art
mean, our
song.
very own David Hoare is talented in that way as well, isn't he? Hi,
Yeah, he's so
David.
good. He's so good. Apparently, this guy's like famous. David saying this man has been signed by Quincy Jones.
No idea who that is.
You don't know who Quincy Jones is?
I know the name, but I'm not entirely sure why.
Quincy Jones is one of the most accomplished music producers of all time.
Okay.
He made Thriller. He arranged for Frank Sinatra.
Right.
He's the reason Will Smith has a TV career.
Right.
He did he was behind so many fucking seminal
I'm
albums.
sorry. I'm really sorry. The chat's annoyed with me.
There's a great documentary that his daughter, you know, Rashida Jones. She was
Yes,
in Parks and
I
Rec.
do know Rashida Jones.
That's his daughter.
Right. Okay.
And so
I definitely,
he made
it's definitely
a
just one of
great
those names
documentary
that I
about him.
know, but I've never like connected why.
I would say watch that documentary because other people will be mad when they find out that you don't know who Quincy Jones is. That feels like you know when you do like I do this sometimes where I do a little bit of research on something just so people won't yell at me. Just so they go, I did that with football and I showed up and I was like, Chelsea spends too much money.
I mean,
Leicester
I'm
is an
taking my
underdog.
time to get around to it, but I will be doing that with the film Tombstone.
It's the best movie of all time.
Speaking of documentaries, before the stream this evening, I was watching the latest Netflix documentary on Britney Spears, Britney versus Spears.
Oh yeah.
And it made me hate humanity.
What's up, EMB? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, EMB.
So talented. So many talents. Yeah, it sounds like it was I haven't watched it yet. I've sort of half followed it through celebrity blinds and tweets.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to watching the documentary. And every story that comes out about that dad is like so much worse than the one that came out before.
Yeah. This one is very recent. It kind of comes up to, I think the last date they showed on it was July this year.
Oh shit.
So like it's right up to a couple of months ago. But of course this week it was announced that he's actually been removed from her conservatorship. I still find it all very problematic. This documentary is made by people who used to be journalists following her around.
Oh, like TMZ
And-
folks? Like Pops?
I'm not entirely sure. They didn't really specify exactly who they were or worked for. I think they were freelance.
Okay.
But they ended up becoming quite close to her. She actually invited them in to try and help her get out of her conservatorship. So
Hmm.
one of them actually like secretly met her in a bathroom and had her sign a document to present to a court and everything like that. So they got very close to her. But whoa, Chris is gone. Chris is just, for people who can't see, we have like a whole behind the scenes part of this show, and he's gone from there as well. He's just gone.
Yo,
What just happened?
I was trying to open a tab, and because of the way that my I've got my ring light sort of dangled a little bit over my screen, and I clicked on a thing, but accidentally just clicked on the X for this tab, and oh, apologies.
It was very sudden. I was just like, whoa, he is gone.
I've heard enough about this. She's
mean,
free.
Yeah. But honestly, it makes me, what
The Love Champion strikes
I don't know
again.
what you heard.
I think the last thing was about the journalists and the document that they signed in the bathroom.
Oh yeah. But the thing that I find really frustrating about all of these documentaries is that none of them have her speaking. They're all there's so many different people that seem to have some side of the story, and none of them are her. And I just find that really sad. And she just has no control over her own narrative anymore.
In their defense,
Mhm.
was she allowed to be interviewed? Because her conservatorship only just ended.
Yeah, she's not allowed to be interviewed, but I just find that then a bit like, then why are you making the documentary? You know, I just feel like it's a lot
Still
of
gotta tell the story, right? Yeah.
They're trying to tell the story. They may be trying to increase public pressure on the courts and everything to try and listen to the fact that this is obviously a very bad situation she's in. But it's just one of those really stressful things to watch because you're just so aware that
No, you're frozen for me. Am I frozen or are you frozen? Who's frozen?
you froze for me and I froze for you.
Could
One
be
of us froze
anyone.
for the chat.
Could be anyone. Just Ashley. Still got
Just
it.
me. Okay. We will get to the end of this story with both of us intact. Basically, I'm kind of just getting at the fact that it's such a stressful and horrific situation to listen to, and even if the documentary is made as ethically as possible, it's just difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that, like, there's something that I really like about there's this guy, his name is Joe Sacco, and he does investigative journalism graphic novels.
Okay.
And they're great. He tells incredible stories with them. But he does a thing that journalists actively try not to do, which is he includes himself in the story. And his perspective on that is he understands that simply by telling the story, he's changing it. Just by being there, he's affecting the way that people are acting, because you can't be invisible, you know, and so your presence in itself affects things. And I love that about it. And it's such a thin line to walk. I think he does a fantastic job of it. And then you've got, like, I mean, you know, Norman Mailer tried to do that too a little bit, but it's so fucking hard. And I think especially in documentaries, because in films seems to attract, or maybe it doesn't just attract, I was going to say more fame conscious people, but maybe that's not true. Maybe it just gives them more of an opportunity to actively chase it, because video makes it easier than writing. But so as a result, you get people that become like, they're sort of part of the story, and then they are the story. Coney 2012 was a great example, where it was like, it was that guy, and then he lost his mind later on. But Coney 2012 wasn't just the kids, it was the guy that was sort of making the documentary about it, and he's at the center of it. So I wonder how, I can't think of a documentary that's done that well, that sort of includes the person who's making it. Maybe that one about Ginger Baker. Did you ever see that?
No.
He was the drummer for some fucking band, Eric Clapton and them. And then he sort of went nuts. He's a crazy person. At one point he breaks the documentarian's nose mid documentary. He just hits him in the face with a cane.
Christ.
Yeah. McWarray, thank you so much for dropping in. Oh, for Cream, thank you so much. Enjoy. Take care. We will see you soon. But yeah, he's in it. He does a good job. Yeah, sort of like quantum mechanics, King Geo. In that, but just in the sense that no matter as soon as someone knows that you're looking at them, they change because they become self-aware.
Yeah, that's a really interesting concept. I remember in university we looked at the panopticon. I don't know if you've heard anything about that.
I've heard of that, but I have no idea what it is.
So it's this. It's a thought experiment. I think. I don't think they ever actually did it or anything, but the concept is it's almost like a prison setup, but you've got this like circle of rooms, and each of the rooms has a window into it, and there's a person in each window, and then there's a tower that looks down into all of the rooms, but from those rooms nobody can see into the tower to see if anybody is in there or if that person might be looking into their window. So they're not sure if they're being observed or not. And so it was an experiment about like how people behave under the possibility of observation versus maybe even the certainty of observation. And so that was really interesting. I don't really remember very much about it, but it was really, really fascinating. And then at the time we spoke about how there's a whole trend in, I want to say Holland, but it could be Norway or Sweden. It was one of those three.
If you're from those three countries, we think you're basically the same country. We are very sorry, but it's what we think. And I agree with Ashley on that 100%. I don't know. I've been to all of your countries, and I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure which one of them it was, but it was one of them where there's a trend of people having very open living areas. Like they don't have curtains. They have huge windows that basically let anybody on the street see into their kitchen and living area. And it's like they do it on purpose so that they behave or something.
I hate that, but okay. I mean, if it works for them.
I don't fully understand the reasoning behind it, but it's a trend somewhere in one of these countries, which I just think is fascinating as well.
that's been one of my worries about cameras and microphones and social media everywhere since I started watching people really get into it. Is that I wonder how much you become constantly aware, especially if you grew up in it. I mean, I still forget that everyone's got a goddamn camera. But if you grew up in it and it's all you've ever known, how much do you mitigate the way that you act so that you are, seen to be within the realm of acceptability? And then in what way and at what point will all the things that you've been denying come out?
Yeah.
Because you can't do that forever. You snap. And the ways in which people curate their own life, and not just for purposeful things like Instagram where you lie and you just sort of show the best version of your life, but just the ways of people are watching and tweeting about you. People are tagging you pictures that you didn't know they were taking. Alexa's listening to you. We keep finding it. Your smart fridge is fucking listening to you. How much of knowing that there's the presence of an input for your output, how does that affect the way that you carry yourself and see yourself and are as a human being? I'm really I mean, the jury's still out. We don't know yet. It's still too new. We're only like a decade in.
I mean, actually, weirdly, to drive it back to Britney, there's a part of that documentary where they're talking about how she started driving really recklessly, was one of the earlier signs of her mentally kind of struggling to cope and everything like that she just started driving really recklessly, and people started saying she was crazy or she was whatever. People kept describing her but I mean, I just can't help but think, how can you blame her for that scenario? Because the only reason that she started driving crazy or driving fast was because she was being chased by paparazzi.
Yeah.
She was being observed so much that she couldn't get a moment where people weren't looking at her.
Yeah.
And yes, I see we got a new follow. We Jess, thank you for the follow. Welcome into the Troggies.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how Diana died.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking wild.
Yeah.
It's that's a fame to me always seemed like a trap. Talib
Mhm.
Kweli, and I'm sure he's not the first person to say it, but he was the first person that I heard say it. And one of his songs, he said, give me the fortune, keep the fame. I'm like,
Mhm.
that sounds nice.
Yeah.
That sounds good, because fame looks like a fucking nightmare. There was because I started doing stand-up in Montreal, and so Just for Laughs comes through every year. And you get the biggest comedians in the world coming through Just for Laughs. All of my heroes are there. It was amazing to go, because we would all get passes and you could go and hang out. And a friend of mine hung out with Eddie Izzard for the night, and I was in a fucking elevator with Reggie Watts and Steve Martin. Like, it's a weird space. But I remember friends of mine went to the big party one year, and stop me if I've told you this before, but Mike Myers was there. Like Austin Powers, Wayne's World, Mike Myers. At the time, fully one of the most famous people in the world. And he was in, so there's the room, there's the VIP room, and then there's like the Mike Myers room, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And he just sat alone in there for about an hour and a half.
Because nobody was allowed in to hang out with him.
No one was allowed in, and he couldn't go out. Because if he goes out, people lose their fucking minds, because it's Mike Myers. And so he can't have fun either way. So he just had to wait for another megastar to show up. And I think in the end, like, it was either
awful.
like Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle showed up and sat with him, and then he had a friend.
He had someone to talk to.
Yeah,
That is horrific.
So it's that double-edged sword of like, yes, there are definitely islands that they know exist that we have never heard of, that they go to, but then there's also the island that they have to live on the rest of the time. Well, my cat's just been sick listening to this.
Really funny. I hope your cat's okay, but if it's just a normal kind of animal puking situation, that's really funny. Yeah, it's probably why so many stars become recluses, even going back to people like Spencer Tracy and Howard Hughes. Yeah. I mean, there seems to be kind of my generation of famous people seem to have a little bit more care around them, just because the generation just before us and any before that were just dying.
Yeah.
So there seems to be a little bit more care care given to people. But I guess also with social media and everything, they, to some degree, people who are famous have more control over their own narrative. They can put out a post themselves to say exactly what they want rather than even being interviewed. Like, you know, I don't know if you've ever been interviewed, but I've been interviewed quite a few times, and every single time I've been misquoted. Every single time I have had something wrong said in the article, and it's been portrayed in such a bad way. And so if you go back to a time where that was the only way that famous people could communicate to their audiences or to the world or to the public, that must have been pure insanity to try and get your point across or get your voice heard.
Yeah, but even without that, fans are psychos.
Yeah.
Look at, like, this is, I saw this picture a couple days ago, Justin Bieber trying to eat lunch.
Oh my God.
They're just there. They just want to be near.
To eat fucking lunch.
Yeah, you just want to eat lunch, and I guarantee that's not the whole crowd.
No.
There was there's this guy. I mean, to be fair, this dude is like unwell, but he for a little while was the tour manager for Tom Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would, go around with Tom Jones, and they would hit the road. And Tom Jones only had one bodyguard. And he always told Elvis, "You have too many bodyguards. That's why people freak the fuck out when you're around. You need one bodyguard. Don't seem like it's a big deal. People won't treat you like a big deal." But also, maybe it was a different time. But what they would have to do is, just so that Tom Jones could have like a moment of his old life, they would stop outside a pub, like a country pub. They would all put on their flat caps and pull them low. His security guy would go in, order 3 pints, one for Tom Jones, one for security guy, one for the tour manager.
Mm-hmm.
They would all be ready at the bar. Then he would give the signal. Tom Jones would walk in, sit down at the bar, and they just sort of sit quietly drinking. He just wanted to be in a pub. That's all he wanted. And he'd just sit and he'd just have the Guinness, and then they would eventually someone would go, "Are you Tom Jones?" And it was like, "Right, we're out of here." And they'd all just stand up and fuck off because you just can't be a person, man.
Oh, it's awful. I saw you know, Asa Butterfield that plays Otis on Sex Education.
I haven't watched that.
Okay, well, he's the guy who plays Otis on Sex Education. He's young actor. He was the boy in striped pajamas. But he tweeted the other day, he said, "I'm so tired of people filming me or taking pictures without asking while I'm on a night out. It actually kills my mood and my night. Fuck off, leave me be, please."
Yeah.
And then he said, he followed it up with another tweet saying, "Tweeting this from a cab home after I've had to slap multiple phones out of my face tonight."
Yeah.
And you're just like, fuck. The phones as well. That must be a nightmare now.
Way worse. Way worse. Because you used to just have to deal with trying to get out of the club or the bar, whatever you were. And
and it would be
there, so
like,
it was like
paparazzi.
Or have a decoy that comes out. You just got to get to your car. But now it's the whole place. You can't be anywhere.
And paparazzi, like in part of the documentary, Britney says that, or they say that Britney had friendships with some of her paparazzi, and she would actually nearly not invite them, but she invited some of them into, like, she had their phone numbers, she could tell them, so she could kind of
control it,
control it, have friendly faces there. One of them that she became friends with, she was like being mobbed at a petrol station or gas station, and she was trying to just put gas in her car, like she was trying to do that herself, and because there's so many people around her, she was not being able to do it. And one of the paparazzi just said, "Brittany, do you need me to help you?" And he just helped her put gas in her car, and she ended up finding out from paparazzi, getting his phone number and trying to get in touch with him to be like, just invited him in to be her friend a little bit. And it's just like, God, she's at this stage where she just doesn't even get treated with general kindness very often. And that seemed to be something that I saw throughout the documentary, was that just every now and then she would see somebody who was like a glimmer of hope for her she tried to get people close to her so that she could get them to help her out. And every single time that person gets totally pushed out by the people around her, gets completely cut off from her. And so many of them were really upset on the documentary, saying, "I never saw her again. Like, I've literally not been allowed to speak to her again." And it's just horrendous.
Any new point of view can put a new idea in her head, and these people are making a lot of money off her, so they just can't allow it. It's a cult,
this documentary gives a lot of money figures.
Oh, really?
And her dad is like, God, he's such a cunt, it looks like. Because he basically stripped so much of her money and only gave her a little allowance. Like, when you think about how much money she made, she was making over 50 million a year at one point.
Easily. Between perfume and music?
Yeah. So much. And then, but from her touring, like, she was being forced to go on tour at some point too. And they were adding on dates to make more money for themselves. And these couple of documentary makers, they went and looked at how much money each of the people that was supposedly trying to protect her earned from her doing more short tour dates. And it's just like a stupid amount of money. And she was restricted down to $8,000 a month. Like, that's a lot of money to me and you, but to the amount of money that she made,
it's nothing.
That's fucking nothing.
Yeah, but that's another way of sort of culting someone, is that keeps them out. So for $8,000 a month, you can't hang out with famous people.
No,
she can't go to the places the famous people are going. She's going
but
to
she also wasn't even allowed to do that. She was barely allowed to spend that money.
Yeah,
they kind of oversaw everything that she did.
You can't run away on $8,000 a month.
No,
there's no escaping.
No. It's so sad and so stressful, and the whole thing really got me down. And so, you know what I did? I did something really silly. I bought something.
What did you buy?
I bought myself some little felt pumpkins. I have wanted felt pumpkins for like 3 years. I'm not gonna lie. Not felt,
Yeah.
velvet pumpkins. They're so pretty. So I've ordered some velvet pumpkins.
Well, that's very nice.
I know they're gonna look so nice in my little candle display that I have on my window at the moment.
Yeah. You sure you didn't get an LED hat? Which, by the way, might be a scam. Still no sign of it. Sent them emails, no
Shit.
answer.
That was so much money for a scam.
I think it's a real thing. I think there's just been a problem, but I can't guarantee it yet. We're waiting to find out.
Oh, I mean, it was impulsive, and I did try to stop you.
But they're called the LED Hat Company. They have so many products.
Yes, but if you were going to scam people out of money, wouldn't you give a really legit sounding name?
Yeah, wouldn't you do it to people who wanted hats with LED on them?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a good scam.
But don't worry, King Geo. Like, I'm on it. I'm pushing for it. We'll see. It's shown up on a separate app. The order. So that's something. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it is something.
We will see. I remember hearing, who was it that got married? I saw it in a documentary about paparazzi where it's very, very, very famous couple were getting married, and they were getting married on some beach in like Hawaii or something. And what they did is they picked one paparazzi guy, and they said, we're going to pay you a shit ton of money. You are going to be the official photographer, but part of your job is to keep every other paparazzo the fuck away from our wedding.
Ah, that's clever.
Yeah, and so because he's in there, he had to like strike deals with people and probably bribe people and organize, tell the cops where these people were going to come, or like the security guards be like, this is how they're going to sneak in. This is where they'll be taking pictures from.
Shit.
So you got to hire one of them to stop the rest of them. It's
He
like,
must have gotten paid so much money for that.
So much money. And it's that like, you know, you hire a hacker to fight cybercrime.
Yeah.
You know, they're the only people that know all the goddamn tricks.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the only way to do it. Yeah, and I think some people really do confuse fame with success. You know, a lot of people think they want to be famous, but they don't. They want to be successful.
Yeah, and there's so many famous people that are like, this is not what I thought it would be. Yeah, some people just want to be famous.
Some people just want to be famous, and some people don't care how. Like, they will just try and get famous.
Yeah, I've known a couple of those people, and I was always kind of like, I've known a couple that were lying, and I've known a couple that were honest about it. And the ones that were honest about it, I kind of respected. I was like, you know what? You know what you want. Good luck.
Yeah.
It's not going to fix what's wrong, but good luck, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I think everybody wants that little happy medium, don't you? Because especially in you know, what we're doing, we're putting ourselves out on the internet. You know, we're trying our best to get more and more people to watch us, and you know, that does mean that we want a certain amount of recognition. We want a certain amount of fame, I guess. But yeah, it's like
just enough.
I don't want it to limit my life in any way.
What you want is, it's like you know, when you go you find a cool new bar, and it's full, but no one's heard of it.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
That's exactly what you want.
Before, the kind of place where you're like, I am not telling my friends about this because it will ruin it. This is just for me. That's that perfect. That's what I want. Just enough. Do you have like a goal stand up wise? I mean, I don't think stand up's really your goal thing, but
I mean, it kind of is ish. I don't really know what my goal is. I think I would love to be a successful stand up. And in my mind, I guess the ultimate stand-up thing would be a Netflix special.
Sorry, Richard, thank you so much for gifting a sub.
Oh, thank you.
Richard Anthony Morris. Very, very thank you to Edinburgh's nicest boy.
Our chat are so lovely this evening.
So nice.
Straight out the gate, there were so many of you in here saying hello and chatting. It was great. Yeah, I mean, and I think it's not because it's Netflix special. I personally think that my stand-up would be more suited to something like a Netflix special than to something like I don't know. I think I'm more of a show comic than a club comic, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. Like an Edinburgh
Yeah.
comic. That's what I say.
Yeah.
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 Thank you very much for following.
Exactly.
1K her.
Welcome to the Troggies.
Welcome indeed.
Bit bleak for family stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no cruise ships for you.
No cruise ships, no. That's that's the pinnacle, I guess. But I like being creative. I like just talking and doing interesting things. One other kind of goal that I had in the back of my mind that I was really working towards before the pandemic was that I thought I wanted to present history documentaries.
Oh, cool.
That was really something I thought, yeah, that's cool. And you get to kind of travel around and do stuff like that, but also do a bit of research and learning about history. And I love doing that. But I had no idea how to get into something like that, And so I was initially going to do a master's in history, thinking that I could get a few more connections within academic circles. And really, I was going to try and work towards honing my historical knowledge, but then also being able to shape it so that I could pitch it to people like the BBC and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of, with that in mind, I kind of wanted a bit of a comedy spin on it. But then the thought of doing a history degree and still not being able to get a job just wore me down. I got a bit broken last year with not earning any money. So,
yeah, well, also it's like
be a teacher.
if you're gonna do it without getting a job, then it has to be something you really care about.
Yeah.
And if it's something you're doing to maybe do another thing, that's not gonna take.
Yeah, and it's not so much that I didn't care about it. It's a lot of it. I think I probably did have it in me to go and keep pursuing the creative stuff and all of that. But, it's been a bit of a running theme on the show, I guess, is that I've kind of had a rough run. Physically, mentally, emotionally. I've been battered to fuck by life.
No.
And so last year I just went, enough.
Yeah.
I need a little bit of a safety blanket underneath me now. So I watch so many fun YouTube channels about history. There's an opportunity to do whatever you like without the BBC. Yes. I only kind of say the BBC because it's like an obvious way of saying I wanted to get other kind of backup and everything like that. But everything, I was even going to self-produce like a kind of a history podcast thing. I also was kind of thinking about doing a history of whiskey thing. But just the idea of just really trying to work so hard on something by myself, I'm able to do the bare minimum of kind of audio editing and stuff like that, but I wanted it to be really good and I didn't know how to do that. And it just really overwhelmed me to think of doing it all by myself. So, yeah, I have little goals and I have kind of different ideas of what I could do, but there's no kind of one road that I'm trying to follow, I guess.
Fair enough. I'm loving King Geo's enthusiasm. The democratization of video is here.
Yeah, but that was a very long-winded answer to your question.
That's all right. That's all good. We're here for 2 hours, maybe 90 minutes.
True.
We'll see how we feel, but we've already done an hour, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's hard, especially when, like, for me, stand-up is the thing, and then everything else is like fun, and I want to do it because I like making stuff. Whereas, for you, it's sort of more diffuse. you don't have the one focus. So yeah, it makes sense that it would be a big answer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
I mean,
avenues.
stand-up is sort of the thing, but it just, I guess I haven't had the opportunity for it to be. You know, I'm just not able. It was the thing up until the year of the pandemic. But I think I was, and at that point I was only 2.5 years into it, but as I say, there was a lot of long years before that, and I just got a bit punched out very quickly.
Yeah, no, it's I think I've been thinking. I've started listening to podcasts with comedians again.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't done for a long time because I just sort of
I
couldn't
stopped
think about
doing that
stand-up.
too.
Yeah, I just couldn't think about stand-up at all. I wasn't watching stand-up. I
Yeah.
wasn't doing anything. Just because the lockdown was just so fucking depressing. But now that I've got shows booked, I've got I'm writing things. I've written some jokes. I feel good about them. It's like, oh yeah, let's get back into it. And listening to comics talk about sort of what they wanted out of stand-up is reminding me what I wanted, because I sort of lost track while I was in the UK, because the UK has very strong built-in goals
Mm-hmm.
that basically the whole industry revolves around. So it's things like Apollo, Cats, having a great Edinburgh Fringe run. Those are the main sort of things. And I don't want any of those.
Okay.
But you end up sort of working towards them just because
Yeah.
it's where everyone's at. And I sort of lost my way in a way in the UK. And so being back and having a little bit of perspective is like, oh yeah, fuck, this is what I want. And also having to cater to British audiences so I could earn a living was hard. And now I'm like, oh, I hate a lot of this. And so I'm never going to say that again. And coming to Canada where I have a shared sense of references and history, and we can all pull from this. We're all drinking from the same tap, that I can sort of just make a quick little reference and they know where I'm at and I don't have to fucking dig my way through. Is so much easier. And I'm just like, oh yeah, fucking this is what I really like doing. And so like I'm writing jokes about libertarians now because they're fucking weirdos. They're so fucking weird. And I was just sort of reminded that like the thing that I've wanted is I want to be able to, my goal is to get to the point where I can sell out small theaters without doing promo.
Yeah.
I want to announce a small theater tour, 1,000 seats, sold out. That's it. I don't want to be stadiums. Like if I get to act in things, that'd be very fun. It's not a goal of mine. I'm not good at it. I'm basically Vince Vaughn. I can be me, and that's it. There's no varying. So if you have a thing that has Chris Betts in it, Chris Betts can do that. But everything else, is a fucking wash. So it's been nice to be sort of reminded of that and like what I want my voice to be and creatively where I want it to go and what I actually want out of stand-up, as opposed to just like, oh, I sure hope this fucking guy in New York books me. I don't care. Like I just needed the money. I hate that club. Actually, to be fair, the one in New York is very fun. It was a Lahaina and I had a lovely time. So it was a bad choice. But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I sort of had that sense even from when I started it, that I wasn't going to just keep going after the shit that everyone else was going after. I'm trying to kind of remember, because obviously I started in Ireland, so the goals there were even a bit different to what they are here in the UK. Like most comics that work in Ireland as comics are touring. They tour around and there's no huge venues unless you're doing the Opera House in Cork, and maybe Whelan's main venue in Dublin. And there's, there'd be a few bigger venues in Dublin there as well. But yeah, it's a lot of kind of small town touring. And I think I probably knew even starting out that I wasn't going to stay in Ireland. because that small town vibe is, you know, it's not me. The few gigs that I did in rural Ireland did not go well, because I have thoughts that just. Am I freezing or are you freezing?
Must be me, because you're coming through clear as day for me. Oh, you're freezing now. Cool.
Really?
That thing is very common though. That
Yeah.
and it's I remember Sadaf showed me this thing. It was on recently deceased Louis C.K.'s show Louis, and it was a thing of him doing stand up in the city and crushing, and then having to go on the road and being in a small town and the exact same stuff. He gets like booed off stage one night. They bump him from headlining to opening while a guy that lights his farts on fire closes and fucking destroys. And I remember having that at a show, one of my first paid shows in the UK.
Oh,
it was a what's that? Can you hear me? You there?
I am gone.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna have to leave and come back real quick.
Okay, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was my first paid show in the UK, maybe first or second. It was in a little pub in Kent, where basically it seemed like everybody knew each other. And I went up and I did my middle set. I think I did 15 minutes. There was like 2 15-minute sets in the middle of the show. I died so hard. I don't think I got a single laugh the whole goddamn show. I might have gotten like oh, good night, Goliath, baby. Take care. I'm sorry to hear that your cat's sick. I hope that they get better soon. So I died and I came off stage and I was fucking heartbroken. Like this is basically my first paid set in the UK, and it just went so poorly. And then the guy that came up after me just pulled out a guitar and started singing a song about his grandma's pussy, like in those words. He was like, "This is a song about my grandma's pussy," and immediately started killing. And I was like, "Oh, good. I'm glad I didn't do well. This is bad. This is a bad place." Steve Mooney, that absolutely is. I mean, my goal is I want to be the best. I want to be the best one. I want to be the one that people look at and go, "Hot damn, that was fucking incredible." And I can't do that, and I want to be able to do that. But in terms of like an outward sense of what a goal is, welcome back.
I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know.
Not at all.
Everything on my computer stopped working.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Is it really hot?
It's a little bit warm. Yep. But it's definitely been hotter. It's not too bad. I don't know. I don't know. My dad sent me some system mechanic thing that I need to do.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully that'll help. Sorry about that.
No, not at all. I told the story anyway. It was basically short version. I bombed, felt terrible. Dude went up after me, literally said, "This is a song about my grandma's pussy." Started killing, just killing. And I was like, "Oh, good. I'm so glad I didn't do well here. This is so nice."
Sure. Yes. Yeah. I've had that feeling as well. Yeah. And it's definitely, when I've gone and done those gigs in the country, it's definitely not people that I even give a shit about. Like
it's just different tastes, man. They just want what they fucking want. And I can't give that to you.
I can't.
I just can't. And I feel bad. I feel bad that I was booked.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have booked me. Someone made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's I definitely had that thing early on, and I knew what I was emotionally capable of putting up with, which was really not much. I can't do the whole, like, some people seem to think that you need to do all those shitty gigs to earn your stripes or whatever. You don't have a type 15 about GA rivalry. Not that the GA would approve of. So
I actually am one of those people that thinks that you have to do a bunch of shitty shows. So tell me why you think differently, because I'm interested. Because
I think you will ultimately do them. You can't avoid doing them.
Yeah.
In the beginning, because you don't know what those shows are like. You don't know what you're in for most of the time when they come around.
Yeah.
They very often catch you off guard. And so, in the beginning you're just taking gigs. So there's no way to not do them. But at a certain point, I think you do get a sense of what gigs it's even worth your while taking on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know,
Once
it's,
you've tried a bunch of them, okay.
but there's some people who think that a gig is a gig and you should take it, and I just don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, no.
You know, I don't, and especially even if it's like people think that if they're paying you to go and do it, you should just go and do it. But if it's not going to benefit you in any other way, like it isn't compulsory. You just
It depends on how much you need the money. I've taken a lot of shows that I did not want to do.
That's another thing altogether. But
Yeah.
some people would argue that if you're not at a loss, if you're not losing money to do the gig, then stage time is stage time. But I just don't agree with that. But you know, some people think that you have to learn how to play every room, and I know that I'm not going to be able to do that, so I'm not going to try.
Yeah,
I'd rather die on my own material that I enjoy and that I believe in than try and cater, because ultimately I could cater myself as much as possible and they still hate me. So
well, yeah, I think so one of the benefits that I think of doing that occasionally, I don't think you have to take all of them, but taking some of them is that you don't have to learn how to go to them. You learn how to bring them to you.
Oh yeah.
And that is an invaluable skill, because that pays off in all kinds of rooms, because you never know, even a room that you thought was going to be lovely can just fucking turn on you.
Oh yeah.
And so being able to be like, don't worry, I got this, and here we go, and you thought it was this, and here we are. Everyone sit back down. And also it's good to be jarred out of your comfort zone with stand-up sometimes.
Oh,
and so
I
to go like,
completely
I know
agree.
this is going to be bad, and let's see how fucking bad it could get. Let's go, and then I'm going to go back to my safe place.
Yeah,
and I don't mean that as like a safe space, just a place that's like I
Yeah.
love doing stand-up here kind of thing. But
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that, and everything that I'm saying is not exclusive, and it's not. It's all. Oh, something's happened.
new patron. Thank you very much.
Patron.
To
Thank you so much for.
Steven.
Oh,
Thank you very
thank
much
you.
for patroning.
Yeah, we are having a meeting this week actually for patrons. Not just for patrons, for a few stream admin things, but we're going to be talking about the things that we need to do to do a bit more for the Patreon and keep it. Yeah, that's awesome, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
Just get it really into a nice place.
Yeah,
that
try to
it's
find a
worthwhile
schedule
being
for
in.
it.
Yeah.
Do the game
Get
stream,
ourselves
the
organized.
extra episode, things like that. You know, we got a lot of lives going on. We got to plan things.
We got a plan. So that's what we're doing this week. But yeah, I mean, yeah, stand up is just so. I think as well, I knew coming into stand up that I had nothing going for me with it. I didn't know it. I knew some people, but I didn't have connections. I don't have any money. I don't know. I haven't learned from anyone how to do stand up. I've just figured it out by myself.
Yeah.
And I think I had realistic expectations of what I was going to be able to achieve with that when I came into it.
See, that feels like a very British Isles thing, because I came in exactly the same way, and I had very unreasonable ideas of what I would achieve with it.
Okay.
It was very much like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to get on stage and start doing it. And I don't know anyone, but I'll meet people there, and I'll just be very good at it because I'll work very hard. And yeah, but the idea that it goes to rich people and this is that. I think in Canada, we just don't have that. Partly because there's no real scene to speak of. So what can you want? I remember Norm Macdonald saying that. He's like, the reason that so many Canadian comedians are so good is because there's no succeeding here. So if you do it because you love it. It's why I found a bunch of British bartenders for a long time were better than American bartenders and Canadian bartenders, because they weren't making any fucking money. There's no tips. And so the cocktail bartenders that were doing it just loved it and were really passionate, wanted to make sure you had a good night, whereas Americans were making cash.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were just doing it for that. And it's the same with stand-up. And there's no Live at the Apollo in Canada. We don't have
Mhm.
stand up on television at all. Like, it just doesn't exist. There's nowhere to go. You just do it and you just keep doing it. So I think that added to it a lot.
Yeah.
No panel shows, 0 panel shows.
Well, that
Comedians
was
don't
in-
exist in the Canadian zeitgeist
Yeah.
at all.
In
We're
in
not on
Ireland, that was a big thing in terms of, you know, when I was a teenager and in the earlier days of my discovering stand-up comedy, it was panel shows. Panel shows were the big thing, and skits within those panel shows as well. So Republic of Telly, I don't know if you've ever seen that. That would have been a huge one. That was fronted by Neil Delamere, and did Andrew Maxwell do that for a little while, or am I getting him mixed up with somebody else? I think he might
Sounds
have
like he
done.
would. Sounds like he would.
He would have been on the panel at some point. He would have been on it at some point, but there was Republic of Telly, there was the panel. There was a few others that were really, yeah, they were what you were aiming for. They were sort of, I guess, sort of Mock the Weeky, but Irish.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were kind of the goals you were working towards. But RTE has done very little to support comedy in Ireland. They don't really do much. I mean,
sounds like a lot more
Alison's-
than Canada, though.
Oh yeah, there is probably more than it sounds like there is in Canada. But Alison Spittle's done a few interesting things that are a bit different, but she has had no loyalty from those things. You know, it's like, okay, we got you to do this show, and then I think she's kind of gotten nowhere further with them, or everything she's done, she's had to fucking push hard for it, you know. Yeah, it's mad. It's absolutely maddening.
It's a wild industry. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's a fucking wild place.
It
Which can be
is.
very fun. I like that no one knows where it's going to end up. There's something
Yeah.
crazy about that, of like, because if you're acting, like if you're just an actor, it's going to be movies, TV, the serial commercial actor, or like nothing, or theater.
Mhm.
And that's it. Those are your options. And with comedy, who knows? Nobody knows. You could do
Yeah.
fucking anything. And it's real Wild West shit. I like that.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of chaos involved.
I do like it. I do like it, but I think what it lends itself to very easily is the sort of hack cliche stuff still doing more well than it should.
Oh yeah. But that's every genre, you know. Boring pop music is always doing better than interesting music. Blockbuster formulaic films is the same, you know. They'll outdo any fucking art film anytime. So I don't really hold that against it. That's just giving those people the minimum of what they want, because that's creativity, corporatized creativity. It's always going to be the case.
This comment from Boomstickery: finding out Irish telly doesn't have much comedy is amazing. It's like finding out it's hard to get a Guinness over there. It fucking is hard to get a Guinness over there. It's well, it's not hard, but it's expensive. Alcohol. Most of the Irish-made alcohols are more expensive in Ireland than they are anywhere else in the world.
Really?
Okay, maybe some countries where the currency is completely batshit crazy. I don't know, but you know, Ireland, it's very expensive to get Guinness or whiskeys, or so expensive because
is that just because they make their real money in export, and so the supply is a lot lower in Ireland, or
no, it's because they keep putting up the tax to try and reduce alcoholism.
Yes,
it is insane. They keep putting up the tax in Ireland.
You know what?
It's so sad.
You know what they should do with that tax money is they should invest it into mental health and give everyone free therapy, and that will defeat a lot of the alcoholism.
Say that to any Irish politician, please. I mean, higher up politicians. There's some regional politicians that work very hard, but Jesus Christ. Biggest eye-opener I had to panel shows is that when a comedian turns up, they give them the questions and pre-written answers to use. Yep,
Oh yeah. What comedians, you know what a lot of comedians do is they
write the jokes for that.
Well, they hire a writer. They take their
Yeah.
fee and they hire a writer to come in and help them so that their jokes are bulletproof. And that
Yeah.
way they sacrifice that one fee, but it makes up in ticket sales on the tour.
Yeah.
When I remember reading this stat that's really fucking stuck with me about taxing Vice, and they were talking about cigarettes, and what they said is that the higher that they taxed cigarettes, because like in Canada the taxes are massive, it slowed well off people. I don't want to say rich, so it's sort of like within the middle class, kind of like well off people. They stopped smoking. People who were less well off smoked more.
Yeah.
Partly due to the stress of having to spend more money on the smokes, that exacerbated it, and they ended up spending more on it. So weirdly, it's counterproductive on the people that you're actually trying to help.
Yeah.
Because people with more money are naturally going to generally live healthier lives because they have healthier alternatives. They have less stress on their mental health, so they're looking for fewer distractions a lot of the time. And the distractions that they do find are generally of a higher quality, and so destroy you less.
Yeah.
So that blew my mind that when you raise taxes on the poor people are much more likely to increase how they do it.
Yeah, it's the same with alcohol. And that was the thing. I think I must have mentioned it on the show when it happened, but the World Health Organization there a few months ago brought out an alcohol action plan for the years 2022 to 2030, and a lot of it is pretty sound. It's all about increasing awareness around alcohol issues. It's about changing the marketing of alcohol, but one section of it says that there will be attention given to the prevention of alcohol consumption in women of childbearing age.
I remember that day. I remember that coming out. That was exciting.
It was. I'm still not over it. I'm still so mad about it. I just think it's such bullshit.
Yeah.
Women of childbearing age, and the thinking behind it is that women decrease their fertility by drinking, and just generally damage their bodies, which of course are only meant to be baby making machines. And you
Someone
just know
clip
that
one sentence, just that one, just about how women are meant to be baby making machines. And I'm gonna show it to people waiting in line outside Ashley's show. Is this the woman you want to support? This woman who thinks that you're a baby making machine?
It's just, and you know that blanket statement means that they are wanting to enforce it in a very generalized way, that there's discouragement for women who can't have children or women who don't want to have children. They will still be included in this discouragement of drinking, because it's just going to be this bloody blanket thing. And it's just so infuriating because there's no proper research into that thinking. It's pure patriarchal thinking. It's pure control over women's lives and bodies, because if they knew, and if they really cared about it in the way they're trying to make it seem like they do, they would know that so much damage to male fertility is because of alcohol consumption.
Mhm.
In fact, men are more likely to have fertility issues from consuming alcohol than women are. And it's just this thing of like, it's going to be the people who are worse off in those situations already that will be badly affected by something like this. The most women who are pregnant don't drink alcohol. If they are drinking alcohol, they're doing it because of other environmental, social, socioeconomic issues that are leading them to that.
Or
such as
depression or things like that. Because I've known some rich women that drank a lot when they were fucking pregnant.
So, but again, that's actually not anything to do with the encouragement or discouragement of them drinking alcohol when they're pregnant. They're doing it because of mental health issues, or they're doing it because of their social circumstances. They're living in poverty, or they're living in they might even be living in some sort of domestic abuse situation. So there's all of these other things that are causing the thing that they're trying to fix, and they're just like going to come in stricter on that thing instead of actually looking at why it happens. It's just bullshit.
When I heard that that thing of like women of childbearing age, my thank you, Geo. Thank you very much, Geo. Can you please post that in the Discord? I will be using it.
Richard Wright, Baby Making Machine is a pretty good Fringe show title.
And it's you, but like you're dressed up like a housewife, and you've got a tray that you're putting into the oven, but instead of cookies, it's covered in babies, and you're just you're making babies.
It would be. It does have a lot of poster potential. You're right, Richard.
When I heard that women of childbearing age thing, my first thought was, oh, this is how they kept women out of bars the first time.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
the same
this is the thing. Women weren't allowed in bars like 50 years ago.
And these guys are just like, my dad was telling me about how women didn't used to be allowed in bars, and it sounds pretty great. It sounds like it was pretty cool. How do we get back to that? Oh, let's say we're protecting them.
Yeah, it's such bullshit. Women weren't allowed, like 50 years ago, women weren't allowed to order a pint of Guinness. They were only allowed to order a glass.
You got such tiny little hands. Break your little bird wrists.
Absolute notions.
That's true, Booms. That's great. Woman of childbearing age sounds like something a villain demands as he snaps his fingers. Bring me your women of childbearing age.
I was going to do the exact same thing. It's just, yeah. We actually, Steve Mooney's mentioned fetal alcohol syndrome. We actually had to look into that a bit as part of my course, because you see symptoms of fetal alcohol syndrome in children in classrooms.
Of course.
And that you kind of have to learn how to handle those. But, again, clamping down on allowing women to consume alcohol in pregnancy or at any point of their life is not going to solve fetal alcohol syndrome. Yeah. It's not going to do anything. If anything, it's going to make it worse. Childbearing age, Morph has a very good question, which obviously was one of the ones that I had when I first read this stupid article anyway. But this is from the World Health Organization that they are putting into motion next year. It's just infuriating.
12?
It's 12.
It's the Juliet
51.
age. To 51 seems high. They should lower that.
51 is the average.
It's 12 to 22. Everyone after that, stop having babies. That's it.
22.
Then we're cutting it out and then just go party. That's
22.
it.
22.
You've got from 12. Oh, you're not bulking at 12. It's 22 that's your problem. 12 to 22.
But how most
women
have children over the age of 22.
And that's a mistake. They should stop doing that. 22 is the max. That's where everybody dips out. All the guys get vasectomies. It's 22 years old. You've made your life choices. You're either going to be a fun guy or a dad guy. And that's a wrap. And you can only date people your age, which fucks me because my wife's older than me. But I could be married to my wife for half the year.
It's just bullshit.
Yeah. Abstinence doesn't stop sex.
No.
You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah. And they dealt with that very well in the latest season of Sex Education. I won't say any more about it because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, but they dealt with the concept of teaching abstinence, and it's so silly.
It's so funny. It's so funny to me because it's like,
yeah,
like all those teachers that I had with drugs. They were just like, well, I never do drugs. And we're like, yeah, but you're a fucking loser and we hate you. So if you don't do it, then we're definitely going to do it.
Yeah. Drugs are cool, man.
Not only do I want to do it, but you not wanting to do it makes me want to do it even more because anything that you're involved in sounds like a nightmare to me. I don't want I'm never going to wear a sweater in my life, you fucking weird old man.
Yeah.
They banned alcohol for under 12s. No, under 12s are allowed to drink because they're not of
You're
childbearing
allowed to
age.
drink up to the age of 12, but you're not allowed after that because you're of childbearing age.
Yeah, as you know, let's all. I'm not even going to finish that sentence.
Don't finish it.
We're at an hour and a half, and I have
We
keys
are.
to pick up. How do you feel about walking away? You got more to say?
I think we can wrap it up. This has been a conversation.
Yeah, man.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little emotional earlier.
Aw.
When we were talking about comedy, I was really trying not to cry.
Aw.
Just in terms of our goals and what we've been working towards, that was getting to some nerves.
Oh shit.
But I'm okay. I pulled myself
Good.
together. I didn't draw attention to the fact that I felt upset at the time because I said if I draw attention to it, I'll cry.
Yeah, I didn't notice, but
Good.
I famously lack empathy. I'm a real bad guy. So
You've never shat your pants as an adult, so
I did. It was
You
just a
did.
while ago. It was just a while
a
ago.
long time ago. Who are we going to raid? George Fox is having his 100th stream.
Oh, then it's got to be Fox. It's got to be Fox.
You
Kimber
two get
says-
into the deep chat when it's just you both without Mr. Boomer.
But to clarify, she loves it when John's here too. So
Yeah. John, we never mentioned it, but John was he was just unable to make it today. Some things
Yeah.
came up for him, and that's
he's
it.
had a hell of a day. He's had a hell of a
Yeah.
day.
He'll probably fill us all in tomorrow.
Yeah, he's gonna have some. He's gonna come in real hot tomorrow.
He's going to come in so hot. I reckon
Understandably hot.
you and I aren't even going to get a word in edgeways tomorrow.
No, there's gonna be a lot of. And then what happened?
Yeah.
Shall I rate or are you rating?
Do you want to line up the raid, I guess?
I got it. You betcha. All right, we are rating Fox Comedy. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't followed, please give us a follow. If you're on the podcast, please rate and subscribe and tell your friends and all that good stuff.
Check out our Patreon as well.
Yeah, join our Patreon. We're going to be putting up we got the meeting this week. We'll be putting up an extra episode soon. Say hi to Fox. Raid messages. Congratulations on 100, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Let's go in there with a nice positive note.
Nice and simple.
Cool. I have got my finger on the outro button.
Hit it. See you guys.
Bye.
See you soon.
And that's all. Penis into her vagina. And that's all. And that's all. And that's called sexual intercourse. Some people call it having sex. So the man passes the sperm to the woman, and now his sperm is in her. Maybe you're wondering if a mistake could be made when having sexual intercourse. But that can't happen.